Hi there, and welcome to Digital Making at Home from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. My name's Mark, here's my sidekick Jimmy.
Hello.
And this week's theme is going to be good old games. So we're going to be looking at how you can create some games using Scratch or a little bit of Python to create some old retro games. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently this week, so we're not going to do a project from the Raspberry Pi project site. Instead, Jim and I have come up with a game that we thought we'd like to make and share with you all, and it's based on a really old game called Asteroids. Now, Asteroids, when I was a kid, if I wanted to play it originally, I had to go into an arcade and put some money into a machine, and I got to have a few minutes playing Asteroids, and then a little bit later my dad bought a BBC Micro for us, and I can remember him staying up all night long coding in BBC Basic to put in the code to play this Asteroids game. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to code our own Asteroids game. But for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, I thought I'd give you a quick demonstration of what the Asteroids game looks like. So this is the original sort of Asteroids game, what its look and feel. So if we just go over here, and Jimmy's going to have a go at playing it. Here's our Asteroids game. So Jimmy's just going to press space to start. There we go. And you get a little spaceship in the middle of the screen. Good shot.
Thank you.
And then you can control your spaceship so you can fly it around. If you hit the rocks, you die. That's it. And when you shoot a rock, it splits up into smaller rocks. Okay? So that's the general theme of the game, and that's what we're going to be recreating in Scratch today. You can stop now.
It's fun.
Close down the Asteroids. Good. So we've got our Scratch environment up here. Okay? And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the Scratch sprite. And then we need to choose a new sprite. So we need to find a rocket ship type sprite.
Okay, so I'm just going to choose a sprite and I'll look up rocket. And here we go, I'll go for rocket ship here.
Cool. It's a bit big at the moment, so should we shrink him down?
So I'll change its size down to 25.
That looks good?
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Right then, so that rocket ship. When we start, we want to be in the centre of the screen.
Right, so I'll grab an events, one green flag clicked, then I'll go into motion here, and say go to 0, 0, which is the centre of the screen. So I can now move it anywhere, but when I click the green flag, it will go back to normal.
Cool. And we want to set its rotation, like the type of rotation, to all around. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you go into set rotation style, we can get that. And rather than left, right, which would be just flipping back and forward, left and right, we want him to rotate all around.
So all around.
Brilliant. Okay, and then we should start him always pointing in the same direction. So let's have him point to the 0 coordinate to start off with.
So I'll grab a pointing direction, 90.
Okay.
And I'll set that to 0.
Brilliant. And then we need some controls for our rocket ship. Yeah? Now we can do the, like, when left arrow clicked and when left arrow pressed and when right arrow pressed, but we're going to do it slightly differently today. We'll use a forever loop in the sensing of which arrow's pressed, yeah?
Yeah.
So should we do that? Should we grab a forever loop?
I've also just realised I've messed up. I actually want this to be 90, so it faces upwards.
Okay, then that's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's grab that forever.
So I'll go into control here, and I'll grab this forever loop.
Should we zoom in on our code as well, because it's a little bit small. Oh, that's a little bit too much. There we go. Grab a forever loop then.
Okay, I've got my forever loop. And
dump that at the bottom of that one, that'll do. Excellent. And now we want to, if left arrow keys pressed, we want it to rotate left. If right arrow keys pressed, we want it to rotate right.
So I'll grab an if, then statement.
Yep, if then statement, yeah.
And now I'll go into sensing, and I'll say key pressed, and I'll say if left arrow key pressed, then, and now I want to go into motion, and I'll grab a turn left 15 degrees.
Cool. So let's just test that out.
Begin.
Do you want it? Is 15 right?
5.
Yeah, okay, try 5. That looks a little bit smoother, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You happy with 5?
Yep.
Cool. So that's got our anti-clockwise. We need clockwise now.
So what I'm going to do is I can just drag this out, right click on it and hit duplicate, create a second one, and now I can just change left arrow to right arrow, And you can't change those anymore. And I'll just grab a turn right.
You used to be able to change it.
Yeah,
Direction,
you used to
didn't you? Yeah,
just be able to
on
right click
Scratch
and
too,
change
yeah.
those. But now if I begin. Oh, and we also want to change this down to 5.
That's it, cool. And then
And
we want to be able to move our spaceship around as well. We want to be able to move forward.
So now I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna duplicate this again.
Do you want to zoom out just one little bit? Just use the thing there because you're okay.
I'll change this to, should we say, up arrow?
Yep, up arrows looks good.
And I'll say move 10 steps. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to say move 10 steps, do I?
Yeah, move should be fine. I think it's because you're starting off with a point in direction 90, is it? Try pointing direction 0. Hit the green flag. Alright, so our sprite's rotated the wrong way, so let's go change the rotation of the sprite, shall we?
So I'll go into costumes, and here I can grab the, if I convert to bitmap, I can use the select tool. I'll just select all and I'll say flip.
No, just turn it, rotate it. I think you have to go to the corners.
Here, okay.
There we go.
I'll rotate that 90 degrees.
Well, we'll see. Go on.
And now, if I begin, nope, it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I'll rotate it 90 degrees in the other direction.
There we
There
go.
we go. And now we can be, yep, there we go. So now we go forward. When I press the up arrow, you can turn left and right.
Brilliant.
And we can in general fly around.
Right then, so the spaceship in the game could shoot. Yeah?
Right.
So we want to go grab a sprite that's going to represent like the lasers or something like that. So what do you want for the laser sprite?
So I'm just going to go for, say, lightning.
Brilliant.
And it's a bit big, so I'm going to go into size and I'll scale it down. I'm going to go for 10.
Cool.
I'm going to not go for 10. I'm going to go for 20. There we go. That looks good.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right then. So when my dog stops barking, so when the game starts, we want that lightning to be the same place as the spaceship.
So all I'm going to say is on the lightning. Actually, I can just steal this code here. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Oh, no. I'm just going to duplicate that and bring it over to lightning there.
Cool.
How's that?
Just click that cross. There we go.
Yeah. So I'll bring that over to lightning and I'll connect that back. And now we should just have that code over here in lightning. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
And then we want to hide the lightning.
So where this one green flag clicked is, I'll also say hide.
Brilliant. And then what should happen is we want if the space key is pressed, I want the lightning to create a clone of itself. Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So go into lightning. So whenever the space key is pressed,
so I'll go into
probably in a forever loop as well on this one. So do the same thing we did with the sensing, yeah?
Events.
No, don't do an event, yeah? Just dump it on as a forever loop and then use the sensing the same way we did with the flying spaceship, yeah?
Yep.
So forever if, that's brilliant.
And then I can grab another key and it's automatically set to space.
Good.
Key pressed and grab a one green flag clicked as well, put that on top. And all I want to do is go into
so we want
control.
To create a clone.
Create a clone of myself.
Cool. All right then. So click the green flag and it needs to reveal itself, doesn't it?
So I also want to say show at the top of this forever loop.
Cool.
And hide underneath.
Or do actually no. Let's put the show when a clone's created. So now let's get keep that. take that show out just a second. Let's get a when I start as clone, yeah?
So I'll go into controls, grab a when I start as clone.
And show, brilliant. Okay.
Show.
Now if you just show everyone now what happens, so we should be able to press space and then move around. If you just move around and then press space.
It's creating them all at 0, 0 dead.
Oh right, okay. That's cool, that's cool. So we need it to when it creates a clone of itself, when the clone is created, it needs to go to the spaceship.
Yeah. So
when I start as clone.
When I start as clone, and all we're going to say is we're going to go into motion here and hit go to, and we're going to say go to rocket ship.
Okay, let's have a look at that one.
And now what we can do is we can fly around, place in lightning, go somewhere else and place in more lightning.
Brilliant.
Can make lightning circles apparently.
Okay then. So we want that lightning to shoot off, yeah?
Yep.
So what do we do to get it to shoot off within that forever loop? What should we do?
All we're going to do is just say move 10 steps.
Alright. Let's put that key space. So create clone on myself. Move 10 steps.
When I start as clone. We want it in the when I start as clone.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a forever loop inside the when I start as clone and say move 10 steps. There we go.
Let's have a look at what that does.
So now it's shooting off these weird lightning things.
Brilliant. So as long as you hold down space, we're going
that looks really cool.
It does look quite cool.
Right, yeah.
So let's put a little pause in between the create clone of myself and when the next lightning can be fired, yeah?
Yep.
So after the create clone of myself, let's have like a 0.2 second delay or something like that.
So say wait.
No, that's right. Under the create clone of myself, yeah.
0.2 seconds.
Yeah, that's it. And let's see what that does. Brilliant. That's a little bit more bullet-like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shooting out bullets. But what's the problem?
Doesn't look as cool.
It doesn't look as cool. But what's the problem with the way the lightning looks?
Okay, right. It's not shooting in the same direction as the spaceship.
Yeah, it's shooting always horizontal to the spaceship. So we need that pointing in the same direction as the spaceship, yeah?
Yeah.
So shall we
create a new variable?
Yeah, so let's create a variable called direction or something like that.
So I'll name it direction.
And this is on the spaceship sprite run at the moment, yeah?
Just spaceship or?
Well, no, I'm just saying we're going to use it on this spaceship code.
Okay, right, yeah.
So let's set direction to.
And
we'll just put it in the forever loop.
Yes.
Put it in the forever loop. So it's always.
Set direction to, and we're going to set the direction to the rotation. So what we can do is we can go to motion, and on the rocket ship we can grab direction, and there we go. And now what we're going to want is lightning, and we want to say point towards.
Then we want point in direction.
Oh, point in direction.
That's it.
Strugged out another.
When I start as clone, don't do it in the forever loop, otherwise every time it moves it's going to constantly change direction to be in the same way as the spaceship, yeah? So we'll do point in direction, just that, that's it. And then that's it when I start as clone, and then we'll make that the...
So now we can change this to the variable direction.
Cool. Let's have a look at what that does.
Shooting them off.
They're shooting them out the front of the spaceship.
Yeah,
but they're all pointed wrong, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all pointed a bit.
Let's go edit the sprite.
Right, so we're going to do what we did earlier, convert to bitmap, select it, and just rotate it.
Do you think you got the rotation right this time?
Probably not. Oh no! We got it right.
No, we didn't do backwards. Honestly, the thick end's coming out first.
Let's flip horizontal.
There we go. That's
there we go.
Cool. So we've got our shooting. Lightning. Brilliant. Okay. Next thing we want what? What's the next thing we want to create? In our game called Asteroids.
An asteroid.
An asteroid. Okay then. Let's go get an asteroid.
So if I look up asteroid, there's absolutely nothing. Let's try rock because asteroids. There we go. Got rocks.
All right. Brilliant. So when the rock, how how many asteroids were at the beginning of the game when you were playing the game Asteroids?
3.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create 3 clones of the rock, yeah?
Yeah.
So
Go on to
when it
the
starts.
rock sprite, then we'll grab a when green flag clicked and a repeat 10 times, and we'll change that down to 3.
Brilliant.
And then we're going to go into control and grab a create clone of myself. And now when I press the green flag, you can see here we have 4 rock clones because we only want it to repeat twice.
No, we don't. We want it to repeat 3 times, but we want to probably hide the original one, yeah?
Ah, okay.
Yeah? So if we hide the original.
So now I'll say hide underneath all that code.
No. Oh yeah, that's fine, yeah.
And
we've
now
got our
we've
3,
got
yeah?
our hidden.
Brilliant.
Right.
Do you know what? I've never thought of doing it that way. That's a much more sensible way of doing it.
What were you going to do?
I was going to do when I start as I was going to put the hide up at the top, and then say when I start as clone show. But the way you've done it, we don't need to do the show.
Yeah, we still do because they'll hide because they're a clone of a hidden thing.
Yeah, but they should create the clone 3 times. Oh yeah, but then because we could put
okay.
a show up at the we could take that out.
And put
That's it.
show
Put
at
show
the
up at the top.
Right, yeah.
Combined genius between the 2 of us.
And now we have 3 asteroids.
Good. Right, when they start as let's have them when I start as clone, they should probably go to a random place, shouldn't they?
So now we can go into control. We'll grab it when I start as clone. I'm going to zoom in. So on this when I start as clone, we're going to go to motion, and we're going to say go to.
There's a whole go to random position.
Oh, right. And we'll say go to random position.
And then we want them to point in a random direction as well.
And so we can
that
just
one you have to do using a random.
grab a point in direction. Go into operators now. Pick random, and we're going to set this between 1 and 360 because it can turn 360 degrees.
Cool.
And
Okay.
so now we've got all of our rocks pointing in just random directions.
And then what do we want the rocks to do?
Move in those random directions.
Cool.
So what we need to do is we just need to grab a move 10 steps and put that into a forever loop. And now got our rocks moving in very random directions.
Okay, if you just leave them, what happens? They all get stuck on the edge, don't they?
Yes, they're all
So
just getting stuck right now.
Cool. So how can we stop that?
So what we can say is we're going to go into motion now, and we'll grab an if on edge bounce, put that inside the forever loop, and now they'll all bounce around and they're very hard to dodge.
They're very fast, aren't they? Do you want to slow them down a little
Yeah.
bit?
So we'll change 1. Alright, these are a bit slow. I'm still failing. We'll change that to a 5. That seem good?
It's up to you.
I'm gonna go for yes.
Okay then. All right.
But you can make
so,
them any speed.
when the lightning hits, in the original game, when the bullet hits the rock, what happens to it?
It would break up into multiple smaller rocks.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is say if it's touching in that forever loop, if it's touching the lightning.
So we'll grab an if. I'll go into sensing and I'll say touching mouse pointer and just completely dismantle my code. And we're going to change mouse pointer to lightning.
So what happened? It's split into rocks, but what
Smaller.
they were smaller. So let's change that size. Let's drop the size by.
We'll go into looks. We'll say set size to.
No, let's change size. Let's change size.
Say change size by -20.
Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So
And then in control, we'll just say create clone of myself.
good. So what's going to happen is if Jimmy just demonstrates. Right, now you've got 1 billion little tiny rocks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which looks really cool, but the game's pretty much impossible, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't
Why have I got 4 asteroids all of a sudden?
because I broke one.
Oh, right, okay. So let's say that if the size is less than, I don't know, 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's just delete the clone.
Okay.
Stop playing your game. This is coding. You're not meant to be having fun.
So we'll say. I'm not really sure.
So within the forever loop, if the size of underneath that first just underneath the first loop, that's fine. And
then we'll go
the
here set if size in
Yep,
right, we're going to go to looks and we're going to grab a size thing, and we're going to go to operators and we're going to say if size less than. It's getting really laggy now,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
I hope our video is not too laggy.
Yeah, same.
I've got a feeling our video is going to be really laggy. Let's have a look. We'll see.
If size less than 10.
And then just delete the clone.
And now we can go into control and we can say delete this clone, and we'll just slot that in.
See what happens now.
So now we're actually getting rid of our clones.
We haven't got a million of them anymore.
No, we haven't got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We've still got quite a lot.
Okay, so I'm noticing another thing that is going to be like taxing our game is that the lightning, can you see it's hanging around at the edges?
Yeah.
So let's go to our lightning sprite and solve that little problem.
So what we're going to say is on lightning we can go to now motion.
I want the clone to be deleted. If so, use a sensing, and if it's touching the edge.
Right, so we'll go into sensing and we'll say touching mouse pointer. No. Yeah. Touching mouse pointer. We'll change that to edge. And now we can go into control, grab an if, put the touching edge inside of the if, and all we're going to say is delete this clone. And we'll just put that inside the
Put it inside the forever loop, yeah.
This forever loop.
I don't think it really matters. That's it, they're all gone.
And now whenever they touch the edge, they all disappear.
Brilliant. Okay then, so last thing we want to do is we want to... Okay there, cowboy. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that when any of the rocks hit the spaceship, we're going to make the spaceship go to a random position.
So now in rocket ship, we're going to come back here. We're going to say if, and I'll zoom in on this now. So we'll say if, and we'll go into sensing. Say touching rocks. So if touching rocks, then and now in motion we're just going to say go. Not that. We're going to grab a
random position. Go to random position.
Go to random position. And we'll grab a point in direction.
We can just go to random position.
Oh, okay, then, yeah.
We'll let it go to a random position.
So now if any of the...
You haven't put that block into anything.
So...
Zoom out and show them where you're going to put that block.
We'll put this block inside of this forever loop here.
Cool.
And now, when we begin, if any rocks touch the spaceship, it will now go to a random area. So now the goal is to destroy all the asteroids without getting hit. And I've been hit multiple times. I've been hit again. Oh god. Oh my. Okay.
Brilliant. Okay then. Right, we're running out of time now, so let's think about what else that people at home could add to their game if they were going to do it. So, what would you normally have every time you die? What would normally happen in a game?
Game over?
A game over, but normally does it do straight away game over?
No, you have a couple lives.
So what you might like to do is you might like to add a variable in there, and every time your spaceship gets destroyed, the number of lives drops down. So you start the number of lives at 3, and then every time the spaceship gets destroyed, you decrease the lives by 1. Okay, and then at the when you're at 0 lives, that's when you get a big game over sign coming up. You get points, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was in the original Asteroids game that you had? What else came onto the screen?
Oh, these weird alien UFO things.
So in the original Asteroids, you had UFOs that used to come onto the screen, and they'd shoot bullets at you, and you could shoot them as well, and that gave you extra points. So you had points for destroying rocks, and you had points for getting the aliens as well. So you could add that to your game as well. There's a huge amount that you could do with this game. Okay then, let's just go back to full screen on this, Jimmy. So if you do manage to make something extra and you manage to take this game and make it your own and do something special, we'd love to see you share it with us. You can share by going to rpf.io/home, okay? And then you'll be able to share your games that you've made with us, and we can see what you've done with this Asteroids game that Jimmy and I created today. Right, that's all from us. Don't forget our live stream at Wednesdays at 2 p.m. British Standard Time. Please come and join my mate Mr. C and his special guests for this week. He'll have a guest and he'll have a coder on, and you can come along and code along with Mr. C and his special guest. So we're going to say goodbye?
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot everyone, and we'll see you next
Bye.
week.